You're listening to and watching Fourth and Pain.
What?
Let me tell you a little story about the Nebraska football season.
What?
We started off by whipping Southern Miss in Wyoming.
What?
We tripped over that school on the West Coast known as UCLA.
What?
Then we whipped up on South Dakota State. We took it to Illinois, and we whipped up on Purdue.
What?
Next up is those Minnesota Golden Gopher, whatever that is.
The who? What?
Then we're going to take on them Purple Boys from Northwestern.
What?
That funny-looking helmet up in Michigan.
What?
Michigan State with that stupid little white S on the side of their green little stupid helmets.
What?
Then we're going to take on every team in the entire Big Ten Conference. We're going to lay the smackdown, thank you, Rock, mixing a little Stone Cold, in the Big Ten title game, and we're going to stomp a mud hole in front of every TV screen in the United States of America on top of every team in the Big Ten Conference.
Stone Cold Adam Carriker. What?
Oh!
All kinds of fired up today on Fourth and Pain, the only football pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player with me, the former wrestling announcer and weight loss champion. That right there is fired up former Corn Husker Adam Carriker.
Look at the socks. Worship the socks.
How many pairs of those do you own?
There's a little store up in Estes Park known as Big Red Score, owned by Sam Cush, former kicker for the 94, 95, 97 national title teams. I go up there frequently. My man, he's got some great socks. There's a sock store as well. I got some Redskins socks. I probably got about 6, 7, 8 pairs.
Wow.
I love these socks. They're so soft.
Look at that. Yeah, the kicker knows feet. Former wrestling announcer, weight loss champion Chuck Carroll here. Be sure to give the show a follow at Fourth and Pain, where we tweet out new shows each and every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, shows such as this. Adam, Nebraska Day here on Fourth and Pain. Always get fired up for Husker Tuesday. Big game looming this weekend against Minnesota, coming off of the bye, feeling good. Let's start at the quarterback position. In one corner, you have Taylor Martinez. In the other corner, you have Tommy Armstrong. Adam Carriker, what you got here? Taylor Martinez, practice, foot's feeling a little bit better. No decision will be made until later in the week. But you know what? According to Kenny Bell, he's pretty optimistic that it's going to be Martinez.
Yeah, you don't know whether he's going to be able to play, but the discussion here, Saturday rolls around. Martinez has had 5 to 6 weeks to get healthy. Do you start Taylor Martinez? Do you start Tommy Armstrong, who's had the hot hand as of late? And even Ron Kellogg, who has played pretty well. And I touched on this a little bit last week. I'm going to delve into this a little bit more this week because we've had this situation in the past with Tommy Frazier, Brooke Behringer. Now, Tommy Frazier missed most of the season with the blood clot. Brooke Behringer stepped in, and he played well. He played great, and a lot of people thought when that Orange Bowl rolled around that Tommy should not be there because you don't want to break the momentum that you've had going for months. And in this case, 4 weeks or a month and a half with Tommy Armstrong and Ron Kellogg. What I'm going to tell you is a starter cannot lose his starting position due to an injury. And also what you need to know, Taylor Martinez, in my opinion, is one of the most talented people to come through here. I think he would be better served. I talked to a friend this week who's a Nebraska fan, and I agree with him. I think one thing Taylor Martinez needs to do is he needs to realize he's not a pro quarterback. It seems like his freshman and sophomore year, he would just take off and run, which is what he does as well or better than any quarterback in the history of Nebraska. But a lot of times it's like he's conflicted, and he feels like he needs to show that he can pass and he can be that pocket passer, and he needs to show the NFL scouts that he can do it. When the fact of the matter is he shouldn't be conflicted. He shouldn't be undecided on what he needs to do. Just take off and run. Just do what you do best. Tommy Armstrong's got a bright future. Reminds me of Tommy Frazier. Not quite as quick, little better passer, very inexperienced at this point, comparing him to one of the legends. But the fact is, Taylor Martinez holds many statistical records here at the University of Nebraska for a reason. He's a 4-year starter for a reason. He needs to be the starter. He's more experienced, and you can't lose your job just based on an injury.
All right, well, let me ask you this. In 30 seconds or less, give me this answer. Pelini comes out, he says, after seeing Martinez in practice this week, yeah, of course he's got a little bit of rust to knock off. Now, Nebraska in the middle of the conference schedule, do you slow play turn and let him knock a little bit more of that rust off before throwing him into the game situation? Or is it only, can he only knock that rust off once under center in a game situation?
I look back to that Orange Bowl when Frazier and Behringer, they had to make that decision. Frazier started the game. Everybody knew Behringer was going to play throughout that game. I think it should be a similar situation. Taylor Martinez has got to be out of football shape at this point, especially as a running quarterback. Tommy Frazier's in shape. Tommy Armstrong's in shape, got the momentum. So what I think you do, I think you start Taylor and let everybody know that Tommy's going to play throughout the game. Maybe even Ron Kellogg. I don't know if you want to mix three quarterbacks. That's a little much. And you just see how it goes from there. But you make it known that Tommy will play, but Taylor is your starter.
You're watching Fourth and Pain Football and Pro Wrestling Radio with former Nebraska Cornhusker Adam Carriker and me.
Real quick. What did you think of my promo? I had no idea where that was going to go. That was completely winged. What did you think of that?
I didn't mind it. You know what? Gave me an opportunity to throw in the whats and the who-whats, and I had a whole lot of fun with that. I think that, you know what? Since class is about to be in session, I'm going to go ahead here on Stone Cold Week on Fourth and Pain. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a grade. And that grade, Adam, is a B. I'm not saying it's a high B. I'm not saying it's a low B. I'm saying it's a B. It's
just a B.
I believe that you got lost at some points, and I think that you were searching for words at some points, but you have potential to get an A. But right now, you are not the leader in the clubhouse.
Like I said, I was winging it, so I think I did all right for just winging it off the top of my head.
Not bad, but you know what? It's only Tuesday. Plenty more shows to go, my friend. You can hit that A by Friday. Now
let's do a little grading of our own here.
Right. Midseason report card time heading into the game against Minnesota. I know that you've gone in, you've looked at the offense, the defense, and special teams, all three phases of the game. Let's start with special teams, and then we'll work our way into the big two. Special teams, how do you grade them out so far this year?
I don't pretend to be some sort of special teams guru. I've never returned kicks. I've never covered a kickoff. I have been on field goal protection, which is no fun. And I have blocked some kicks in my day. Field goal protection, almost blocked a punt while I was in St. Louis. So nothing has really stood out to me. Nothing has really been glaringly good or bad. So that inherently makes you think of a C, maybe a B type deal. But what I look at is I look at the fact that we're 4 for 4 field goals. Sounds great. Sounds marvelous. Our longest is a 32-yard field goal. We also have 3 missed extra points. So that is horrifically horrible. So I'm going to drop. I don't want to put it to an F because there's more to special teams than just kicking. Just kicking. I'm going to give it a D.
Wow.
You got to make extra points. That's horrifically horrible.
Definitely plenty of room for improvement. Let's talk about the offense now, whether it be Taylor Martinez, whether it be RK3 or Tommy Armstrong. How are you grading out this Nebraska offense at the midway point?
I got some stats here. We average 42.7 points per game, which is second in the Big Ten behind Ohio State. We are our 47th offense ranked nationally, 10th highest scoring team in the nation. The Huskers average 478 yards per game, and they are number 2 in the Big Ten in total offense behind Wisconsin. Now, and they're the number 2. Now, the way this sounds really good, and it sounds like you'd give them an A, B, A plus, A minus, something like that. But the way I look at it is we play Southern Miss, Wyoming, South Dakota State, Purdue, and Illinois. And when the only really good team we played is UCLA that held us to 21 points. So to me, the stats are there. The talent of difficulty on our schedule, maybe not so much. I'm going to give them a B plus because the stats are good, but we got to see how they play against Michigan coming up and maybe Northwestern, who's kind of dropped off lately as well. But still a good team in my eyes.
And the big one is last. We got to move quickly here. Defense, how are you grading them out? It's something that you do know quite a bit about.
I look at the defense, and I found a stat line where it said we are the number 1 scoring defense in the Big Ten. This was a couple of weeks ago. We had a bye, so I don't know if it's changed that much. Which, again, I think it's misleading because we play a team like Wyoming who's not that nationally powerful, and we give up 34 points. We struggle against the South Dakota State team. We look great against Purdue. We look great against Illinois. Southern Miss, we played well. UCLA scores 35 unanswered on us. The tackling is porous at best at times. It has gotten a lot better the past 2 weeks. I'm going to give them a B, much like you gave me.
All right, not bad. Room for improvement there as well. Plenty of games still on Nebraska's schedule. You're watching Fourth and Pain with former Cornhusker Adam Carriker and me, the weight loss champion, Chuck Carroll. Real quick before we take things home, give me your prediction for Minnesota this weekend. Who do you have?
Minnesota's 5-2, 1-2 in the conference. Their real first tough test was against Michigan. They got hammered pretty good. I think they're a decent team, going to make a bowl game, but I don't think they're a great team, and I think they've kind of used to their advantage playing some weaker teams. I think Nebraska is going to roll much like they did against Illinois and Purdue, 42-14.
And I'm going to take the Huskers 35-28. I'm not sure the defense defense is known to give up some yards and some points this year. You can't fault me on that one, but it's still a Husker victory.
You know, the only reason Notre Dame didn't lose last week is because they had a bye, right? Or 2 weekends ago. You thought they had a bye last week. I told
Hey, I was in Texas, my man. I was in Texas. All right, time to give something away here. And before we do that, big congratulations to Sherry Hamilton Stinson and Ashley Geenan, who have won stuff from us in the past 2 weeks by answering trivia questions. Sherry 2 weeks ago, we forgot to give her a shout out, and Ashley this past week. This week's question: what grade did Adam just give the Nebraska defense, and why did he grade it as such? To answer, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/4thandpain, then message your answer. All correct entries will be entered into a hopper where one name will be chosen at random, and we wish you the best of luck.